Hello and welcome back to Season 2, Episode 2.
The Batter's Box.
The Batter's Box, which we call it the Batter's Box, 1, because of alliteration, and 2, because I'm a lefty and you're a righty.
I'm a righty, so we get
both
sides of the Batter's Box.
Both sides of the Batter's Box. Yours is typically a mound of dirt, and mine's is typically pretty clean.
Yeah, that part, not a big fan of, never have been, because I always like to hit on the flat part, but there was always a hole. So, yeah, that was tough. But you know how it is. Let's talk ball.
Yep, why not? First, we're going to start off with batter up. I don't know if you guys ever played this, but it's they give you a silhouette of a swing, and you have to guess. Just from the looks of it, I'm going to go Jorge Mateo.
Little Jorge Mateo action.
Right, and even if it's not, we'll be able to see. Typically, I'm pretty good at these where I'm able to.
Yeah, you can kind of tell also, like, there's different types of swings depending on what position people play, just because, like, common body types and stuff. But it's a pretty long, it's giving me middle infield. Okay, so Jorge Mateo has been guessed, and it is not Jorge Mateo.
No, not even close. Doesn't play in the AL.
Pretty much.
It would have been AL.
Yeah, pretty much nothing is right. So that's a little tough.
That's okay. Okay, so he doesn't play in the AL, doesn't play in the NL East, so he's either in the NL Central or NL West. He's either 27, 28, 30, or 31.
A little bit shorter, medium aged. They got really long swing, man. Not a neck movement.
Definitely a little stumped by this one. I'm typically not stumped by these.
So it's NL.
Either Central or West.
What about
if he's a Rocky, we're screwed.
We're cooked. Are you getting any like Jung Hoo Lee action? I haven't seen him swing in a while. Could be worth throwing out a guess though.
Yeah. Was that a knock at the door?
No.
Okay.
No, we're good.
Okay. We thought we heard a knock on the door.
There was no knocking. It was just a different door opening.
Jung Hoo Lee is not correct. That's weird. Okay, so yeah. So then he plays for the NL Central, which...
Okay.
So I was thinking Nico Horner, but you're saying no.
Nico's a little bit more quick to the ball. This is kind of a long swing.
Man. I'm just going through the Reds lineup. It's not Spencer Steer, maybe?
Ooh. I could get behind that. Sure.
Let's go Spencer Steer.
Spencer Steer.
No,
not Spencer
he doesn't play for the Reds, and he's not in the NL Central?
Okay, so it's NL East, and it's not an outfielder.
That's weird because I think in like MLB Pickle, it'll tell you whether or not he played.
Yes. Yeah.
Or it'll be like, okay, he's not in the AL East, but...
Yeah, I think it's only by league in batters up, whereas it's like, it'll match division in Pickle.
Okay. So now we know he's in the NL Central, or NL East. Once again, if he's on the Marlins, Marlins and National, it doesn't look great for us. Oh, is this Profar? No. I am... Oh, Sean Murphy? I don't know if he's still playing for the Braves, though.
That could be...
He is.
I feel like he... I don't know if he's, like, playing.
It would tell us...
I think it's worth a guess. I mean, we have, like, 3 guesses left.
So...
Narrowing down the team is big, too.
Not Austin Riley.
No.
Orlando Arcia.
It might be Orlando Arcia.
I think I might have gotten it. Oh, so close. He's on the Braves. Born in the USA. Isn't a shortstop, but we got everything else right. He's 30 years old.
Wow, exactly 30 years old is crazy.
So that's good though. We know it's the Braves. Any right-handed bats from the Braves?
Looks a little skinny to be Austin Riley.
Profar. We had Profar as a guest before.
He plays outfield though, doesn't he?
Which we'll talk about Profar.
We'll talk about him. We'll talk about all the exciting things. Sturks and Profar.
Oh, he would play
Torpedo bats.
So he's not a shortstop.
Stay tuned.
He's not a center fielder. He's not a left fielder. So he's either a right fielder.
I think it's we didn't get similarity either. So I think it's either catcher or corner infield.
Okay. Travis d'Arnaud. He looks a little too skinny to be Travis d'Arnaud.
I think we throw Sean Murphy.
Yeah, just in case.
I mean,
it is Sean Murphy.
Bang.
Let's go. Come on now.
Bang.
Really? Wow. That's yeah.
He's got a nice little swing.
Yeah, that was nice. Respect. That was nice. Let's get some fist bumps for that one.
Boom.
Boom, 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 boom.
Hey, the Rowley still with the Rowleys on.
Okay, so that was a good start. Yeah, wow, what a week. What an opening week so far.
Weekend. Baseball has been played. Everybody's got a couple games under their belt. Fun times indeed. Woof.
So, do you want to talk about the NL a little bit?
Yeah, I can do a little NL recap here. So NL matchups we had the Padres versus the Braves. We had the Reds versus the Giants, Marlins versus the Pirates, Phillies at Washington Nationals, and the Cubs at Arizona Diamondbacks. I'll start here with the Padres and the Braves. The Padres swept. The Padres looked really good. The Braves, not so much. Nick Pivetta, full pension Piv as they call him. He had a nice outing, very nice outing for the Padres. 7 innings pitched. He only allowed 1 hit. And I mean, the Padres looked really good. Fernando Tatis is getting back in his normal shape a little bit. I mean, the Braves are a good team, and to sweep them, that says a lot about the roster. So the Padres are looking good going forward. A little bit less exciting of a matchup on paper, at least. Reds-Giants. Giants took 2 out of 3 from the Reds at their home field. So that's tough for the Reds. The Reds were winning game 1. I think it was 3-2 in the 9th. Hunter Green had a great outing, 8 strikeouts through 5 innings. But then they gave up 4 in the 9th, and they ended up losing 6-3, I believe. So that was tough for them, and then they split the next 2. So the Giants got the best of that one. Took 2 out of 3 in that series. Pittsburgh Pirates at Miami Marlins. The Marlins, who we talked a little bit about on the opening day pod, as just being really bad and just kind of having really not a lot of people on that roster. They took 3 out of 4 from the Pirates. The Pirates, obviously, they won the Skeens game because he doesn't let up very many runs or hits, and he's just hard to hit. Even though Sandy was pitching for the Marlins that game, they lost. But they won their next 3. So, nice little 3-1 start for the Marlins. They're on top of the NL East, and, I mean, if I'm a Marlins fan, I'm ecstatic. But there's a lot of holes in that lineup. Phillies at Washington Nationals, kind of to be expected. The Phillies looked good. The Nats, very young team, didn't look like nothing crazy. But the Phillies took 2 out of 3. Kyle Schwarber had 2 home runs. He's pretty much leading in like all of their main hitting stats, like hits, RBIs, runs scored. He's their guy. Bryce Harper hopefully will catch up in a few of those. Speaking of Bryce Harper, I think I'm gonna do something live right here. And I think I'm gonna accept.
Oh my
I think I'm gonna
goodness.
accept the trade that Timmy J offered me on the opening
Whoa.
day ep. So I am in need of a first baseman, and Timmy J, he offered me Bryce Harper and Adolis Garcia for Brent Rooker and Logan Gilbert. As much as I love Logan
Yogurt.
Yogurt. As much as I love Logan Gilbert and the Mariners pitching staff, I need a first baseman, and I really like Adolis and Bryce here. So live acceptance to that trade, and it has been completed.
Yeah.
What's your reaction to that?
I think it's a win-win.
I agree. I get a first baseman. You get a stud pitcher. And Adolis, I'll take. And
let's not act like
Brent
Brent Rooker isn't also a stud.
Yeah. Let's not act like that.
Let's act like adults here, okay?
Yeah. Another standout for the Phillies, Jesus Luzardo. He looked like gross. Struck out 11 guys in 5 innings. The most you can strike out in 5 innings, 15. Quick math. But he struck out 11 and he got the win. Great for Jesus Luzardo, young guy. Looks good. Cubs and Snakes. I have a little bit of personal stake in this one as a Cubs fan.
Well, hold on. We have a live reaction from James Theophany. Can we block that, please?
Whoa. James is trying to block the trade. Why? I ask.
Yeah, I'm a little bit confused.
I feel like that's a win-win. I know ball.
Maybe James
Tim
doesn't.
knows ball. James Theophany. You guys will get to meet him on our next
Episode.
He's gonna do a little surprise celeb.
Well, I think we have to ask him about his reaction to this trade.
Yeah,
and his explanation as to why he wants to block it.
Yeah.
Because it makes me better, and it makes you better.
I agree.
I'm
confused which side he's upset with.
Like I said, it's not like Brent Rooker's a scum or anything like that.
No, that dude can hit the baseball very well. Logan Gilbert is like
one of the best pitchers in baseball.
One of the best. And I get Bryce Harper, who's like perfect for me because I'm in dire need of a first baseman. And Adolis, who has biceps the size of my face. So let's talk about Cubs.
He also has
Diamondbacks.
the neck the size of your face.
Neck the size of my entire torso. Cubs, Snakes, they split 4, alternating. The last game 4 was just a tough watch for me. We were up big, and then we gave up 8 runs in the 8th inning. And then we lost by a lot. Because winning 3 out of 4 there at their home ballpark at Chase Field with a nice pool. That would have been big for us. Would have got us back to 500 after Tokyo. But now we're 2-4, and I mean we're still going to come back from that.
Suarez.
That dude killed us. Talk about him more later.
Wow. Every
time he came up to the plate, I got a little bit scared.
He returned to his Cincinnati Reds form, essentially.
Very good. Kyle Tucker and Matt Shaw. Kyle Tucker, our new acquisition from the Astros, and Matt Shaw, our young rookie third baseman. They both homered in the first game. Their first Cubs homers in the same game. They were the first duo to do that in a long time. I forget what the year was, but I think it was 1900s. And then Shota threw a gem. He threw a very good game. Yeah. So Cubs and Snakes split. Let's you want to talk about the AL a little bit here?
Yeah. Yeah, so just talking about the Red Sox, Rangers to start things off here. Yeah, the Rangers won the series 2-1 after an opening day victory by the Red Sox. I think the Red Sox were 3 or 4. Wow, James is calling.
Do you want to take this live?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, we're gonna take a live call from James. See what he's thinking on the pod. James, you're on the podcast. Welcome.
Dude, you can't be fleecing the to the league manager like that.
How is that a fleece?
I don't think that's a fleece.
It's a win-win.
Logan Gilbert.
He doesn't know. I mean, I guess, but I don't. I see.
Logan
two
Gilbert was
All-Stars just.
Logan Gilbert was
just
drafted
gifted.
ahead of Bryce Harper in the draft.
Well, I will say I do see two All-Stars just gifted to someone who put up 100. How much you put up last week?
I put up, I think, 187. Yes,
Yeah,
that was.
Adolis had 23 points.
I put up 190.
190.
Yeah, I put up 190 last week.
I think we're just.
You didn't, dude. You lost.
Yeah, I did, but I put up 190.
Okay, well, I mean, what's the reasoning for the trade so early in the season?
I need a first baseman. He needs a pitcher, and so the
Never
deal
mind, I put
was
up
made.
150. My bad, but
I mean, I know, but you've just made. I think for the rest of the teams here, I mean, we're just succumbing to the reoccurring tradition of Moneyball that has plagued baseball so long. Just like these big power teams being able to pick on the little guys, and this extends not only to just
the little guys. What little guys are there in this league?
He's calling you short.
Listen.
I don't have that much money, so it's not like I'm buying. It's not like I'm buying these players.
And Brent Rooker almost hit 40 bombs last year.
Yeah, that was last year. This is this year. I don't know, man. You're not playing for a home crowd. Where's the motivation?
Sacramento he's 1 year in a new place. He
in a
wants
hitter's
to do well.
ballpark now.
Hitter's
Like
ballpark
this
in
is a
Sacramento.
minor league ballpark because I don't know. And Logan Gilbert.
It's like a recreational park, isn't it? It's like
It's a minor
pretty
league stadium.
low. Yeah, it's pretty low scale though. I don't know. If I was an A's player, my morale and motivation would be very limited.
Guess we'll
I don't
see.
know, I just
Time will
don't
tell.
have a home crowd.
I just don't understand why you're upset by the trade
It's
because
a crazy trade early in the
because
year.
it's a
Almost had
win-win.
Great week last week. He had 1-2 homer game.
He's a
I
little
think he homered a couple other times.
streaky. He'll have his ups. He'll have his downs.
Yeah, he had a bad year last year. Let's not forget that.
And Timmy J is gonna get 30 points a week from Logan Gilbert. So
Yep.
Well, well, that remains to be seen. But I don't know, Tim. I think we're shaking things up a little bit too early.
this
Anyways,
is the
boys,
first.
I'll-
Well,
first trade
but hold on.
being
This
made.
coming from the guy who wanted to add a couple more bench spots.
I agree. I think that was.
I think the
was-
bench
that
spots.
was
No.
there.
But what I'm saying is like don't make it seem like Andrew and I are the only ones shaking things up because
Things are being shaken.
everywhere people are shaking things up. Okay, but I'm just trying to get into a groove, and I think these are the guys that are going to get me over the hump.
Making major moves. Like, give Seiya Suzuki. I'm telling you, gotta give people time. It's early in the year. It's a long season, man. It's a long season. You know those March games.
I respectfully don't tell me how to run my
March
team.
Games are cold, man. They're cold.
Respectfully, don't tell me how to run my team. You run your team, bro.
I'm just saying. I'm speaking for the league here. I'm not even speaking but I don't know.
Right.
It remains to be seen. As someone who just incurred the loss of a major outfielder, I'm looking to make some moves too. So we'll see. So be on the lookout for that in the league, and I think it's hopeful for the season. But
Yeah.
anyways,
It'll be fun to see how it goes down the stretch, and we can talk more about it on Wednesday.
Yeah, and we'll talk about the loss that he had
real
to
baseball,
his outfield
that's where the expertise lies.
in just a second
All right,
here.
gents. Well, I'm excited to join Wednesday. A little plug for that. So
Plug.
listeners, stay tuned.
Yeah, listeners,
for
shout.
that. I like to shake things up as you've seen. So
Yeah,
we'll
totally.
More to
we'll
come.
have some fun.
More to
All right,
come.
boys. I'll see you.
All right, bye,
Thanks for calling, James.
Bye. Of course. Bye.
dude.
Fun little interjection there from James.
That was,
He thinks I'm winning the trade.
and he thinks I'm an idiot, which is
Yeah, he thinks-
I just don't understand. Like, how did I make a bad trade?
I think it's a good trade. We've both suited
I'm
our
not
needs.
gonna make a trade.
It didn't feel good to give up Logan Gilbert, so that's how you
Right.
know it's like okay, that seems like a fair
But
trade.
like, you were asking for Bryce Harper as well,
yes,
so it's like
yeah, I got to give something if I want
exactly.
Bryce Harper, who's
Plus,
He's an all-star.
I mean, now my pitching is pretty much anyway. So we're gonna go back. So the Red Sox ended up losing the series 2-1. Corey Seager and Adolis Garcia were kind of behind that. The Red Sox I think were 3 for 41 with runners in scoring position, which is a problem. And Rafael Devers, we're filming this on Monday,
Yes.
is
Historically
now
bad start.
0 for 19 with 15 strikeouts.
And we'll talk about him a little bit later.
Yeah, and we'll talk about him a little bit later. I have some thoughts on that. I obviously don't think his season's over by any means.
No.
I think it's 5 games, so everybody needs to chill, and we'll talk about it later.
Chillax.
Nothing means anything this early, in my opinion.
162.
The Pirates, I think, started out 18 and 4 or something like that last year. It was an insane start for them.
That
And
might have
then
been. Was that last year? 2 years ago.
No, it was last year.
Last year.
And I think it was actually the year before as well.
The Rays 2 years ago, basically undefeated April. So
Yeah, and then they didn't even.
and then they didn't do that
Yeah.
well. So yeah, lots can happen.
Okay. Anyway, Hayes versus Mariners. Mariners handled the Oakland A's. Julio Rodriguez, a couple of homers. Finally got back to his.
That's what I've been saying.
He's back. I'm really, really excited for that.
How about them M's?
And I mean that pitching. We talked about that pitching. It's very, very good. I made a trade for that pitching during this video.
That's
so-
true.
Or
That's true.
during the last episode, if you go
Continued
back and
into
listen
this
to
one.
that.
It's a storyline that just keeps on giving.
It's the gift that keeps on keeping. Keeps on giving. Anyway, Angels versus White Sox. The White Sox actually won opening day via walk. No, it wasn't walk off. They just won.
They won. They were on
which
pace for
is-
162 at one point.
Not anymore though, unfortunately.
Nope, they are still bad. So tough for them.
Their bullpen is just, which I don't know why you would expect their bullpen to be good.
Yeah, I mean, nobody
yeah.
was like, "Wow, they're gonna be good." No,
And nobody's like, oh my gosh, the Angels are going to be good. So it really just a mid battle of mid, which was actually a thing.
Yeah.
Okay, Guardians versus Royals. The Royals kind of just didn't have a great offensive series. And they struggled to capitalize the runners in scoring position, much like the Red Sox this series. So the Guardians ended up winning it. But like I said, we're so early on into the season.
lots can happen.
Lots can happen.
Lots.
And once again, we'll talk about it a little bit later, but I'd rather, the Red Sox struggle now than
Yeah,
in September, which
it feels
they
worse if
still
it
might.
happens at the
Yeah,
end.
They still
Feels
might
worse.
struggle in September because every team just kind of goes through a kind of 5 or maybe 10 game slump.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for us, it tends to happen towards the beginning of the year, so that was unfortunate, but yeah. And then we had some interleague play.
Little NL teams playing some AL teams. Yeah, I mean, other than like the Dodgers sweeping, nothing wowing me here. Dodgers swept the Tigers. Honestly, could have predicted that. They're 5-0.
Yeah, that's the plot twist of the century.
Wow. But Roki's low-key been struggling a little bit. He's fallen off the Rookie of the Year leaderboard.
Yeah, he was crying in the dugout. Did you see that video?
I did not see that video.
Yeah, he was taken out of the game and then he was crying.
Dang.
There's no crying in baseball.
Which, you get you sign to the Dodgers at what? He's 21 years old. No, he's
I don't
not.
know his age. I can
We're
look
gonna
it up,
double
though.
check. Yep, just double check on that.
Roki Sasaki's 23.
23.
A little bit older than us. but
23
not
years
much.
old. Moving to the U.S. for the first time in your life, right? Living
Yeah.
in the U.S.
Different.
So much pressure on you. You
Yeah.
are expected to be like an ace.
Which the Dodgers don't even need an ace, bro.
No, they Clayton Kershaw. I said this before, but Clayton Kershaw is their number 7 pitcher. It's insane.
Dumb.
He's kind of just stealing money from them at this point. But
Yeah.
I don't blame him. So yeah, no, but I think Roki's gonna have a bounce back.
Yeah, he'll be all right. Still lots of
Yamamoto
season.
also struggled. But yeah, no, he just struggled to find his command.
Yes. Which is not what you would expect, but
No, because he was very good with command. But also, MLB baseball is different than a Japan baseball. I think that could also be a part of it. Maybe it takes some time to really get used to the seams, and I don't know. Maybe that's just but people are just hating on him and trashing on him.
He'll be fine.
I've never really liked that, but
they're just people.
Yeah, they're people too.
No reason to hate them.
Oof. Yankees, Brewers.
Well, I think we'll talk about the other ones for a little bit first. Mets, Astros. Astros take 2 out of 3 at home. I don't know. I don't have a lot there. Do you got anything there?
No, not a lot.
Yeah, Rockies, Rays.
Kind of surprised.
Rays took 2 out of 3. And yeah, I mean the Rays win 2 out of 3 because they're playing the Rockies, and that's
the Cardinals also swept.
The Cardinals,
the Rays
swept the Twins,
which my bad.
Which I was surprised by, very surprised by. And I also don't like that at all.
So if that shows you anything, it's like one of the worst teams in baseball swept opening weekend.
Yeah.
So like, how much does these first couple of games really do matter? Obviously, you want to get off to a hot start, and but it just kind of like goes to show you that first week doesn't really tell the whole story, and there's still a whole lot of games left to play. So.
And Mr. Ryan Jeffers of the Twins, I believe, he went 1 for 8. And he was using the new bat that the Yankees were using.
The Torpedo bat.
The Torpedo bats. The Yankees used these guys. They swept. They won 4-2 the first game, 20-9 the second game, and 12-3 the third game. They tied an MLB record for most home runs in an opening series.
35?
15 home runs.
Okay, never
15.
mind.
35 is crazy.
No, it was 35 runs.
35 runs.
No, that's not correct.
36 runs. Yes.
Okay.
15 home runs.
That might be a record too, though. Opening weekend.
And wow, I mean, they were just hitting the crap out of the ball. It was impressive. Judge had 3 home runs by the 5th inning in Game 2, and that's
my goodness,
just
dude!
gross.
It's insane. He already has 4 homers to start the year.
He's looking early MVP favorite, which he wasn't not the early MVP favorite before this, but now he really is.
Yeah,
he's already at minus odds, which is crazy. But we'll talk about that next week too. But these Torpedo bats, have you heard much about them? How do you feel?
Yeah, they kind of remind me of like the wiffle ball bats you get as a kid or something like that. It's like
the big barrels.
Yeah, big barrels. Cody Bellinger. I think this was kind of Cody Bellinger's like not idea, but like he kind of brought it over to the Yankees because he noticed that he was making a lot of contact. Bad contact. So he was just like, what if I just move the barrel? Which is within the rules.
It is very much within the rules.
As long as the barrel remains the same size, I believe.
Yes, the circumference of the barrel is the same. What they did is they just shifted where the weight is distributed and moved it to where people normally make contact towards the the middle of the bat, earlier on in the barrel. Instead of at the end, because if you hit it on the end, you're really probably not going to do much with it anyways.
Anthony Volpe, another guy that
used it and homered.
Yeah.
Looked good.
Really, really struggled with barrel rate.
Aaron Judge did not use it, and he still hit 4 home runs, so it's still personal preference. It's still it's still a bat. It's still hard to hit a baseball coming at you.
Exactly.
And
once again, it's not illegal.
No.
What the Yankees are doing is totally legal. It's okay.
I did actually. I saw a quote from one of the Brewers pitchers who got lit up. It was funny. Trevor McGill was like, "Yeah, it's the Yankees, so they'll let it slide." But it's very much within the scope of the bat, the criteria for a MLB baseball bat.
Yeah. It seems like it's cheating because nobody else is really doing it, but
because it's new and
they might ban it.
It's possible
next year.
I don't know if they will. I mean they've been doing a lot of I'm a biomechanics.
It could also
minor.
Sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
In my engineering field, and pitching biomechanics has been all the rave in the past 5 to 10 years. So it's kind of cool to see them like starting to like do some things equipment wise with hitting, because like hitting is hard, man. So like anything that's like within the scope of the rules that can give the hitters a leg up is I think that's really cool.
Yeah, that's a good point. And also
they look fun.
Yeah. It could also just be like just thinking here, it could just be because the Brewers are bad.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Like Nestor Cortez was serving
Schmeat.
Yeah, he was like, "Hey, do you want to hit a home run? Okay, I'm gonna throw you a pitch, 90-mile-an-hour fastball right down the middle." So, like, can you really say that it's the Torpedo bats that's doing it, but also Anthony Volpe homered? So it's like, yeah,
it's like there's some merit to it, but at the same time, like it's still a bat.
Once again, it's 3
can only
games.
do so much.
It's totally legal. I don't have a problem with it. But yeah.
I like it. I'm curious to see like how quickly other people start to use it. I know actually Giancarlo Stanton, he used it in the playoffs last year and hit a few bombs with it. But yeah, now that it's all over the place and very very widely publicized, I'm curious to see how many people use it. Adley Rutschman, he hit 2 home runs on opening day. He was using his Torpedo bat.
Maybe this is like, maybe Rafael Devers should switch to the Torpedo bat, which brings us into. I've been locked in on these transitions, but this brings us into
new section.
Studs and duds.
Studs and duds, baby. Let's get it. So I'm
so excited.
We decided that each week we're going to have the studs and duds section and highlight one player of our choosing. One stud and one dud that has performed really well that week, and one guy who just was like really bad that week.
So you'll go dud, or you'll go stud, I'll go stud, and then dud.
Stud, dud. All right. Yeah, I'll start it off. Somebody who personally made sure that my Cubs were a little bit sad every step of the way. Eugenio Suarez. He hit 4 home runs in his 4 games against us. Oof! Every time he came up to the plate, I was like, here we go again. 4 home runs. He's slugging 1.143 right now. His 4 home runs leads MLB. He's tied with Aaron Judge, though, who was the first player in Yankees history to homer 4 times in the first 3 games. So shout out Aaron Judge. But right now I'm shouting out Eugenio Suarez. 1.55 OPS, very nice. And 16 total bases from those home runs. That puts him at 3rd in the MLB right now. So, yeah, I mean, he looked really good.
Yeah, like I said, back to his MVP.
Hard contact.
MVP
time.
form. Didn't win MVP, but that almost 50 homer year that he had. Yeah, he looked really, really good.
4 in 4 games it's a good start. He's on pace for 162. How about it?
Yeah, that would be cool.
Not gonna happen.
For my stud, I went with Matt McLain. I actually went to Cincinnati in person this past weekend. Saw him play. I just love the swing that he has. He's only hitting .231, but he has 2 homers. So the stats don't necessarily say it, but he's going to be one of the best players in MLB. An easy All-Star pick, in my opinion, early All-Star pick.
Especially on the Reds.
Good defense, good speed, good bat control, good barrel rate percentage. He's just very good. And so I didn't tell you this, but because I wanted to get your live reaction on the podcast.
Okay.
So I was thinking about it, and I love Matt McLain, and I think he's a beast. So if you're McDonald's in Cincinnati, and you're listening to this, because what else would you be doing? The Matt McShake. And it's like a strawberry milkshake.
Ooh.
For the Reds.
Okay. I like that.
I mean,
They got nothing like it right now either, and I think the people would buy
the
that.
people would buy it.
The
for
McShake,
sure.
I mean, it's
The
self-advertising.
Matt McShake.
Matt McShake.
The McLean McShake or something like that.
The strawberry. I mean, they don't got a strawberry shake that I know of. I think that'd be sick.
I might have to
That'd be
email
really
him.
fun.
I don't know how you email him, but
I
shoot,
don't know.
bro.
I mean, it's out there somewhere. Scour LinkedIn real quick.
Yeah.
Give me your CEO's email. I have an idea.
I'm gonna stick with this the dud here.
Dud.
And it pains me to say this, but Rafael Devers is the obvious dud for me.
Yeah.
Who is currently 0 for 19 with 15 strikeouts. Now, what I will say,
Oof.
and I've watched every game, so I know. Yeah, I've been watching and being able to see what he's doing. The swing is looking better than it did. The swing has looked better each and every game,
That's good.
despite 15 strikeouts. And
a lot of strikeouts.
yes, an MLB record of strikeouts in the first 4 games.
Sad.
So it doesn't look great, but he's only swung at like 2 or 3 pitches outside of the strike zone. So he's swinging at strikes. He has 4 walks, so he's walking. But one, he looks like he has no confidence, which why would he? He also had, and I'm not trying to make excuses. I'm just trying to give reasons and say why this might be
Optimistic.
happening.
We
as
like
well.
optimism.
Analytical and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He only played like a week and a half in spring training. There's so much pressure on you. I think less pressure than there was last year because now you're not like the face of the team necessarily as much as you were last year. And you're not expected to be a leader. Alex Bregman is expected to be that leader. So he's swinging at strikes. He's just late as heck. So his swing, his swing power, I think that's what it's called, or something like that. Like how hard he's swinging.
Like swing speed, swing velocity.
Yeah, swing speed,
Yeah,
bat speed. It went from 73 down to 69. So that's 4 miles an hour. So he's just not swinging the bat as hard. And
Interesting.
yeah, and it just seems like he doesn't want to be up there. And we, you played baseball. You were probably better than I was, but for me it was 12 years of this. So I was a lot more accustomed to striking out and stuff like that. But there were also just times where like you would be in that batter's box, like it feels like I've never played baseball before, or like golf, for example. Golf is one of those sports where like if your like mechanics are off by like a millimeter, you can like shank it, right?
Yeah.
And so I think that's just what's happening here. He's just trying to get warmed up, but swings will look better. He fouled off a couple balls, and I know it's like foul ball, whoop-de-doo, whatever. Ooh. But like when you're in that situation, just hitting a foul ball, just seeing the ball go off the bat with contact.
Yeah.
Like he's seeing the ball well, he's just not hitting it, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
So I don't think his season's over.
It's a hard sport.
And Boston media is going to rip you to shreds, unfortunately.
It's just tough for him, but I mean, he'll be fine.
But yeah, so I'm not worried about him. I think he just needs to see one get down. Once he sees a ball land for a base hit, whatever it gives me, I mean, we've seen it where Rafael Devers can go off for like 600 bat. He's guaranteed he'll be on this studs list at some point in the near future.
Yeah.
But I think like once you get to that like 0 for 8 at the start of the year, is when you start to put a lot of pressure on yourself, and I think it might be just a mental game and stuff like that. And also,
very much a mental game.
Being a DH, like when you're able to just go back out there onto the field and not think about, you're just like thinking about the field. But when you're sitting in the dugout, just recollecting on that at bat, I think it might have a toll. I also think our hitting coach is awful. Pete Fatsy, he wasn't a good MLB hitter. That's the thing. It's like, it's not like he was like, okay, yeah, let's hire Barry Bonds.
Yeah.
Good by the
MLB
way,
hitter.
and good MLB hitting coach.
Yes.
I'm just gonna pull up Pete Fatsy's stats here. He's 37 years old. Jeez. That's a young.
Young.
Did he even make it to the majors?
Very possible that he didn't.
He grew up in Massachusetts.
Boston.
Yeah, he never hit above like 290 in the minors.
Mm.
And you're gonna hire that guy as a hitting coach because he's from Massachusetts or something like that. He's just, and people, Red Sox fans have been like, well, or not Red Sox fans. I think just like the front office is like, well, you know, we had one of the best offenses in baseball. Yeah, we had one of the best offenses in baseball because we have good players on our team.
Yeah.
But our 2-strike approach and our 2-out approach is not good enough.
Yeah.
And like being 3 for 41 with runners in scoring position represents that quite obviously.
Yeah.
You're just not teaching your guys situational hitting. And like, to me, how can you keep that person on when you fired people that are better than him in the past? Like you fired our first base coach who was like the GOAT, very, very good. And then our defense went down because he was also our defensive coach. So it's, I don't know. For them to keep him on, he must have like the most horrific blackmail on John Henry or something like that.
Crazy take.
I need him out of here for my mental health. And yeah, just kind of closing remarks here. If your team's not doing well, it's not the end of the world. A lot of games left. It's frustrating. Believe me, I am pulling out hairs watching the Red Sox these last couple of days. But if your team's not starting off hot, there's a lot of games left. Everybody's going to go through these slumps. The Yankees went through a slump last year.
True.
Every team did, right?
Everybody goes
Maybe
through
not
slumps.
the Dodgers.
It's a long season. The longest season in sports. It's going to get the best of you at times. Sometimes early, sometimes late.
We're 5 games in here.
Yeah.
Four games in. We got 158 games left.
Yeah.
Got 157 games left. So
yeah.
It's a whole lot of time for your team to turn it around, your favorite players to turn it around.
Yeah.
Sometimes once again, it just takes that one hit or that one
You just got to see it.
Yeah. And just, Yeah. Now, once we're a month in and these trends are starting to set themselves, then that's when it becomes like, okay, these are the teams that are. Once again, Washington Nationals were 19-19, and then they won the World Series or something like that. It was so there's a lot to think about and a lot to process. But if your team's not doing well, don't worry. And if your team's doing really well, good for you. But
could fall apart.
Yeah,
Miami
exactly.
Marlins.
You never know.
I have a feeling they're going to fall apart.
Yeah, they might.
I feel bad for Marlins fans. I've kind of been dogging on them, but I just think
dude,
not
it's
really
tough. But like, I feel like if you're a Marlins fan, you have the ability to take. You can take it.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, you've been there.
You gotta have a thick skin.
Yeah.
Once again, just one of those GMs like the Cardinals that just it doesn't seem like they care. Or the Rockies.
The Cardinals. You're talking about the Cardinals. I'm going to talk about my dad because he's on the Cardinals. While we're here.
Yeah.
So the Cardinals swept, but Wilson Contreras, former Cub.
0 for
14.
I forgot you were also.
I have a dud too. 0 for 14 with 5 strikeouts. As their DH, which, like as you said, when you're DHing, like
it's a transition.
Designated hitter.
It's a transition.
You don't have that time in the field to kind of like flush. You're just kind of in the dugout.
Maybe that was my problem because I would strike out and then go out into the outfield and still be thinking about the strikeout and then make an error in the field.
Yeah, you gotta flush it, which is tough to do, but yeah, you got to do it. 5 strikeouts, 0 for 14, not good, especially from a DH. You know, you're kind of expected to be hitting because that's your designated role. There's also a funny clip of him eating his batting tape on his bat because he only had a couple seconds left to get in the dugout, or not the dugout, into the batter's box. Plug. He's like, oh, I only have like 5 seconds left. Let me just shove this in his mouth. And he just like ate it. But then he proceeded to strike out anyways.
Sure, yeah.
So it really didn't make any difference at all. But it's a funny clip. So I'll see what I can do. I might be able to put that on the YouTube for the people to see. Like,
yeah.
He strikes
yeah,
out
we don't have to
it's
see
like,
the strikeout. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once again, though, just he's gonna find it. He's a good hitter.
He's a good hitter. They're trying to put him at first base, though, which I mean, that's going to be interesting.
That catcher to first base transition is always a weird one for me.
Yeah.
Joe Mauer struggled with it. late in his career, but yeah. Okay, so that's gonna just about wrap it up. We're gonna hit the showers, hit the clubhouse,
Yes, sir.
and get back to you on Wednesday with special guest James Theophany.
Looking forward to that one. We'll talk about some awards, who we think's going to win them. Maybe get some more feedback on James' end of the trade after a couple more days.
Yeah, that was. I'm still kind of at shock for that a little bit, but
Yeah. I think he's just a little jealous that he hasn't made a trade yet, and
yeah, and he doesn't like the fact that I made an early trade. But once again, I'm not gonna let my players sit. For
all I know, Bryce Harper could get injured in 3 days, and then I'm cooked. So
yeah, but for him to ask to block that trade is
I've never been a big fan of blocking trades like football, baseball, unless it's obviously
a fleece.
let me pay you and give me your bench player for Travis Kelce. I had that one time. One of my friends bought one of my other friends fries and nuggets at lunch or something one day. He's like, all right, I'll give you Travis Kelce for Rusty Gronkowski. I was like, this is crazy. But this feels like a good trade for both of us. So.
Yeah. So we'll debate that and talk about that. But
yeah, it should be a fun one. Come back, talk about the awards. Let us know what you think. Studs, duds, who you got, and who you're rooting for, how they're looking throughout the season.
Yep. Like, comment, subscribe.
Smash that like button.
We're gonna leave the batter's box. That's a good one.
Exiting the batter's box.
Yep. We're gonna pimp
a home run.
We're gonna pimp the home run.
Trot around the bases.
Trotting around the bases. There it is. That's the.
We're gonna trot around.
We're trotting around the bases. We'll see you soon. Bye.